Hello everyone, welcome to my U Programming Club. Today we will be solving another daily Leetcode problem, and the problem's name is maximum length of pair chain. So the problem statement goes like this: you are given an array of n pairs, where pairs are of the form left to right, where left and right are its boundaries. So a pair P2 follows a pair P1 if this condition satisfies B is less than C. For example, let's take the sample input as our example. If we consider the pairs 1, comma 2 and 2, comma 3, and if we have to check, let's consider this as P2 and this as P1. Now, since let's mark the denotations A, B, C, D. Now, since B is equal to C, P2 cannot follow P1. This cannot happen. So let's consider another pairs. Let's consider this as P2, this as P1. Now B is less than C, so P2 can follow P1. Then what we are asked to do is we have to return the length of the largest chain that can be formed by such followings like P1, P2, P3, and so on. We have to tell the length of the largest chain. Let's call it this chain as CH. Then we have to tell the length of the largest chain possible. So you do not need to use up all the given intervals. You can select pairs in any order. Okay. Then let's have a look at the constraints. So length of the array is of order 1000, and the pairs are from minus 1000 to 1000. The values in the pairs, their left and right bounds, are from minus 1000 to 1000. So those are the constraints. Now, how you will be solving this problem? Let's consider a brute force approach. Now let's say we where we generate all the possible chains. Let's say the length of the pairs array given to you, then then for each of the let's you will be having n empty slots. Now it's totally up to you whether you want to fill each slot or not, or you want to leave it as it is. So let's consider this is the pairs array. For each of the pairs in the pairs array to be part of this longest chain, you are having two options, either to include it or exclude it from the longest chain. So this will be having two options, 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 and so on. And total number will be 2 raised to power n. Options will be there that are not overlapping. And you will choose maximum among such chains, maximum length chains, maximum length chain among all the chains generated. So this will be approach, uh, but 2 raised to power 1000 is very much greater than 10 raised to power 8. Basically, these are the order of number of operations. Our solution will be requiring. Whenever this number exceeds or become equal to 10 raised to power 8 operations, these are the operations allowed in 1 second. Then you may get a TLE, so time limit exceeded, and your solution will not be accepted. So we have to optimize our brute force approach. So how you will be optimizing the approach? Solution. There will be two conditions for each pair to be considered in the chain. Either it will overlap with the current end of the chain being formed, or it will not overlap with the current chain being formed. So based upon these two conditions, we will be forming our result. For example, let's consider the sample input that we have taken 1, 2, 2, 3, and 3, 4. Let me quickly copy it. So if we consider this as our initially our chain will be empty. Now we consider this to be added in the chain. Now since the chain is empty initially, we will be adding it without any worries. Also, I would like to mention that you should sort the chain according to the endpoints in ascending order. Sort node chain pairs array according to endpoint in ascending order. Why we are doing the sorting? It will help us to pick the pairs, more number of pairs, or say pick number of pairs optimally. Because if we pick a pair towards the leftmost pair, just to come more room for further pairs to be added. Anyhow, let's continue. So this one is added. Now we are considering this pair, and we will check the this is the end of the chain. If we check the new pair that we are considering for addition overlaps with the end of the chain. So end of the chain is 2. So if its start of this current pair to be considered to be added happens to be lesser than or equal to the previous end, then we can say that uh, there is a overlap and we cannot add it. So in this case, the start is equal to the previous end, so this will not be added, and we will continue our search of the next pair possible to be added in the chain. Now we will consider this pair since uh, this one is greater than the end of the chain. Start of this pair is greater than the end of the chain. You will add this pair. So at last your chain will be looking like this. And you will keep a variable length or say current length, which will be initialized to 0 initially. And then you will keep incrementing it as when you will be adding new pairs to the chain, and you will return it simply at last. So the time complexity for this will be n log n, where n is the size of the pairs array, order of n log n. This will be the time complexity. As space complexity will be order of 1, since we are not requiring any extra space. That's the solution, and it will be n is here 1000. Let me quickly check. Yeah, it's 1000 into log of 1000, which is lesser than 10 raised to power 8 operations. So these operations, number of operations are lesser than 10 raised to power 8 operations, and so our solution will be accepted. And those of you who are new to this concept of checking the time complexity, of checking how the time complexity of a separate solution varies according to input size, I will be providing a link for article describing this. You can explore that article and then you will be having a clear understanding what we are talking about here. Why this is the limit of the number of operations. So let's quickly jump towards the coding part, and there you will be able to understand the approach in a much clearer way. Let me quickly zoom out. I think it's sufficient. Uh, so what we have done is we have sorted the pairs array according to increasing values of endpoints of pairs. So why we have done this? Ours really pick the maximum number of pairs, maximum number of non-overlapping pairs. So at last you will be forming the chain while checking that the current pair to be considered to add to be considered for addition in the chain does not overlap with the end of the chain. This previous end is nothing but the end of the chain. So you this will be the current pair to be considered for addition. And this will be the start of the current chain, and if the previous chain's end is lesser than the current start, then you can safely add the if this condition satisfies, then you can safely add the current pair to the chain, and your length will increase. At last, you will return your length. So that's pretty much it. This is how we will be solving the problem. Let's try to quickly submit it. As you can see, it's getting accepted. So that's pretty much it for the solution of this problem. If you are still having any doubts, please feel free to ask them in the comment section. I will be more than happy to answer them. Thank you for watching. Thanks.